the things we know about social cognition is that, and human cognition is that it involves social processing, and that it's also very much focused on status. We know, for example, that primates, and this is true for animals that are way less sophisticated than primates, are very good at social cognition. So they know to the individual exactly what strata the other members of their group occupy. You can imagine they're in a dominance hierarchy, right? There's the top primates and the bottom primates, and then there's strata of primates all the way up, just like there is in most animals. And primates are unbelievably good at knowing who's who. And they need to be, because if you mess with a high order primate, you know, one that's high up in the dominance hierarchy, and you're sort of lowly, you're going to get hurt. And it's better to be lowly and know your place, or at least this is how animals manage it, than it is to get hurt. Young males who are sort of climbing up the hierarchy will often take an awful lot of abuse trying to get to the peak. But most animals in a social troop are pretty much resigned to their locale because it's safer to be there. And often the castes, so to speak, in the primate hierarchy are actually hereditary. So generation to generation, the same families, so to speak, occupy the same rungs. So one of the things we know about social cognition is that, and human cognition is that it involves social processing, and that it's also very much focused on status. There's some very funny studies of this sort of thing. I think one was done with macaques, if I remember correctly, where they'd show macaques photographs of other macaques from their troop, and those photographs were either of low status macaques or of high status sort of celebrity macaques, and the macaques would spend much longer time gazing at the high status celebrity macaques than like the low people, creatures, whatever have you, that they, you know, had nothing but contempt for. So you can think a lot of our pre-existing perceptual and conceptual categories are social, so we're always processing other creatures, humans for sure, but other living creatures as well, and we're also very concerned with who's doing what to who and when, and who's got the power, because it turns out that dominance hierarchy status, for example, is unbelievably important in determining, well, reproductive opportunities in particular, but also general health and access to, you know, prime access to resources, unbelievably important.